Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Great. Got one of my two new Kevin Smith jerseys in recently. One more on the way, the Golgothan. So pretty stoked.
Is that why you opted for the quick stop background?
It is. So
he just want to make you feel at home.
I do. So, but yeah, how are you doing, Ozzy?
Well,
he's not even supposed to be here today for sure.
Okay, pulling back the curtain. It is August 31st when we're recording. We normally record on Sundays, but it's Saturday when we're recording. So technically, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
And he said it. Worth it.
And there it is. I feel like Bart Simpson with the, I didn't do it. Like, say it. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Chilling.
Now, you mentioned this at the very beginning. Now, as we mentioned, we are recording this episode on August 31st. We'll be airing on September 23rd, I believe, which is after 3 weeks of the football season. And Todd told me, because he saw the shirt I was wearing, he's like, I bet it kills you that you're going to have to record. And this episode is airing 3 weeks after football, and you have no idea how your team is doing.
We're going to come back live for the October shows. You're going to be in tears.
Either it'll be for that or my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Because luckily, and knock on wood or whatever, but I've never had a situation where both the Raiders and my fantasy teams were both doing horribly. So
what about the year you lost your trophy?
Okay, you know what? I said horribly. I still made the playoffs that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I was just asking.
And I completely dominated my auction draft last night by getting Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, Breece Hall, and Trey McBride there. I can't wait.
Half of them are going to be injured by the time this airs. So.
You know what? You're probably right. And if anybody's wondering who I picked up in my wide receiver, it was Amon St. Brown. So moving on. All right, now.
That was actually probably the big question on everyone's mind.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm sure anybody who's tuning in to see the review of Booksmart definitely is curious about fantasy football.
you know the type of ladies we... Never mind.
I don't want to assume that just, that they're not football fans, but based on what I was watching the movie, I don't think it's the perfect way to kick off this episode is to talk about fantasy football and later talking about this movie. Booksmart was released on May 24th, 2019. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, we do. Red Band.
Good morning, winner. Take a deep breath. Visualize the mountain of your success and look down at everyone who's ever doubted you. Fuck those losers. Fuck them in their stupid fucking faces.
Oh shit! Are we gonna go to school or?
Nope. What's 2 + 2?
Isn't it crazy that it's the last day of school? Are you kidding me, Samantha? Go talk to her. She's got a really cute smile. Amy, do you know how many girls are gonna be up your vagina next year? Every time I come to visit you, you're gonna be scissoring a different girl. Dude, scissoring is not a thing. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Ow!
It's the last day. We got you through high school.
I need to go over the end of the year budget numbers.
Can't we just graduate, head off to college? That should do it, right?
We will persist.
I can't hear you. I can't soundproof glass.
We have to go to a party tonight.
What?
Nobody knows that we are fun. We didn't party because we wanted to focus on school and get into good colleges.
And it worked.
But the irresponsible people who partied also got into those colleges.
I'm incredible at hand jobs, but I also got a 1560 on the SATs.
We haven't done anything. We haven't broken any rules.
Name one person whose life was so much better because they broke a couple of rules.
Picasso.
He broke art rules.
Rosa Parks.
Name another
Susan B. Anthony.
God damn it.
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks, put me to your lips.
Hand sanitizer.
Check.
Chapstick.
Check.
Mace. Listen, it is very important that you keep the safety.
Oh! The safety on! Don't touch your eyes!
What the fuck is this?
Me ask the questions!
Oh my god.
What can I say?
Well, this seems excessive. Shotgun. Just kidding. I don't have one.
Don't say we're having a date night.
Why? It's funny your parents think we're boning.
What you two have is special.
We are going to show each other how much we care about each other.
We'll probably just do a Korean face mask.
I don't need to know all the words.
And that was the trailer for Booksmart, again released on May 24th, 2019. Rated R with runtime of 102 minutes. Written by Emily Halpern, Sarah Haskins, Susanna Fogel, and Katie Silberman. Directed by Olivia Wilde in her directorial debut, as mentioned in the trailer. Starring Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein, with Jessica Williams and Jason Sudeikis. Initial thoughts on this? I don't remember how this came to... This came on our plate. Just
you suggested it.
Did I? I can't remember that.
Greg, am I wrong with this one?
I don't remember either.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, initial thoughts on this when I saw the trailer is something about it reminded me of Superbad. And then as I was watching it, a lot of it reminded me of Superbad. Not necessarily.
Oh, it's 100% a female Superbad.
Well, I mean, even the person who was casted, this one to my left here, you can't see the full picture of it, but this part of her face, kind of similar to Jonah Hill. If you put the two side by side, and not only that, but
do you not know it's his sister?
Is that
no?
true?
That's
no, it is.
Mind blown.
Well, how about that?
Man. Well, I need to do some rewriting.
Well, let's see what you had.
So half my comments can't be made.
Oh, that's funny.
Her last name is Feldstein, and his last name is Hill, so I didn't make the connection there.
Well, he made his a little more mainstream. We'll go with that.
Fair point.
And I think she kept her original name. So
okay, well, to be honest, I think this just might have come up with my every search engine online profile practically knows me as somebody who just seeks out movies. That's will pop up in my, I search movies every now and then, all the time actually. So it'll send me ads for just random movies. I guess I don't know how this movie popped up on our list or came on our radar, so to speak, but it did. And initially it did. It definitely had like the vibe of it was a high school buddy comedy.
It's a definite like a coming of age comedy.
Oh, most definitely.
It reminded me also of I can't remember what it was.
To be fair, though, with Superbad, a lot of movies followed that format. I mean, you could even break Can't Hardly Wait down to that.
I was going to say
Project
Can't Hardly
X.
Wait. Yeah,
it is the typical like teenage. It's just different things happening.
Right. And well, we're going to get into the meat of it shortly, but I don't want to overcross my initial thought into the meat of things. So, initial thoughts on this, guys, Greg or Todd?
Yeah, this one wasn't on my radar at all. So I really didn't know what we were getting into. But I was kind of excited because it was a newer coming of age film, which is far after I came of age. So I was interested to see how it was going to be. And, first off, Todd, you're going to have a blast censoring just that trailer. So have fun with that, buddy. But one of the comments that Jackie had mentioned when we were watching it together is she was like, man, they just gratuitously like throw in, F-bombs and all this stuff. And I was like, what? It's a different time now. Like, that's not really a bad word these days. It's just part of our vernacular, So it was just very different to see this one and how casual a lot of subject matter is. So yeah, it was. I was excited to see how this all went and pleasantly surprised. But yeah, we'll get more into it in a bit.
John.
Yeah, I actually saw this on an early screening in sometime in 2019 before it was out, and yeah, I enjoyed it then and saw it when it actually came out probably a month later, and yeah, I've seen this a few times. It's just a fun coming of age story. I have fun with it. I think it's funny.
It is
question mark.
Yeah. I'll pull the.
I mean, like I'm. It's like, okay, so let me use the analogy of a roller coaster. Imagine you're having this great time on a roller coaster and it's going fast and you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Then all of a sudden it stops in the middle, and then it turns into like a classic dark ride from Disney. And like all of a sudden you're like seeing the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves in the middle of this roller coaster, and then you're kind of like, I thought we were on a roller coaster. And then all of a sudden that story what so
I said, or you're in hell like in Mr. Toads.
And then all of a sudden you're kind of back on the coaster again. I guess it turns into a kiddie coaster again. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that the comedy hits really high in the beginning, like the first 30, 45 minutes, it is firing on all 8 cylinders. And then about an hour in, like the emotion has to come out that almost felt as though I don't want to say it felt forced, but it's almost like you have this nice story, of the two, and maybe the story of the two of them and their relationship was that something like this needed to happen. What happened an hour into the movie where they blew up at each other. Sorry, spoiler alert, but you watch it to see these emotions fall out and see them happen. I mean, great performances all around, but it just got to a point where I was like, man, I'm not having fun anymore. like I was having a good time like the first 45 minutes, like, and the scene with the parents and trying to allude to all this other stuff and the story about the panda, all hilarious, right?
Yes.
But then we get into the serious, and then like I guess what I didn't like about it is that you felt attached to these characters, that you at least could identify some people in high school, like that you kind of felt that these are your friends from high school as you're watching them trying to accomplish their goals. So when they start fighting and yelling at each other, it's like, oh, man, like, can we just not do this one night? It's almost feels like we don't get to hang out together all the time. It's you almost feel like you're with them, which is a testament to how well liked the characters were, in my opinion, and how I wanted to see them succeed. So when you saw them fighting against each other, if whether or not those emotions needed to come out for that relationship to grow, sure, but I would prefer not to see that in the middle of a comedy. We mentioned Superbad because it's a sibling, who was in that movie, right? But you don't
they get mad and split up in that one too?
Yeah, but not
in like every other comedy.
No. Hold on a second. Where everything gets silent, and then the camera pans around like a Michael Bay movie almost. It does.
We didn't get this movie Michael Bay.
By the way, can I just say,
sun flares?
I was super excited when I saw that, and I was like, "Thank God, when I was in like high school and my early 20s, cell phones were not a big thing to record every dumb moment I've had. So yeah.
Well, I mean, like here's the thing is that when they're getting ready and they're wanting to go to this party, you're like, you understand where they're coming from and you want to see them have a good time. So to see that in the one time that they go to try to have a good time, they end up blowing up at each other, and then they're just trying to, like in the trailer, nobody knows that we're fun. That's what one of them says, and they get to this party and they end up yelling at each other like, well, you just proved to everybody that you're not fun. Like,
here's the thing, though. I have to disagree with you. Like in some aspect, yes, I do understand that. But at the same time, if they established earlier that maybe they did drink a little bit or whatever, which they didn't really say they were like those kind of people, that first time you're trying to go like all out at a rager, sometimes those are some very emotional, crazy nights. And I've been to a few of those where there's some extreme like highs and lows in those moments. So for me personally, I was watching it, I was like, I've been to this kind of party where I've seen two friends that like just went at it because they were like a little sloppy drinking too much. And then like later by the end of the night, they're like hanging on each other, going home happy, you know, like, so like that roller coaster, I was like, oh, this is kind of home, you know, like I do know this feeling. So it kind of brought some realness to it while still being like, this is kind of what happened. So it didn't feel too down in the dumps. But I do get what you're saying. When you're on that high, you kind of want to stay there. But like, would it be like, do you know the greatness of light if there is no darkness, if you will, you know?
Okay. Todd, do you want to jump in with anything before I had a thought come to mind that I was going to share?
Go for it. I agree with Greg.
So,
go ahead.
Let's say you're watching Wile E. Coyote versus Roadrunner, right? Let's say there's some newer cartoons, right? Let's say Mel Blanc, Chuck Jones, they came back to life and they're like making new episodes or whatever. Awesome. However, let's just say one of these cartoons you're watching, obviously it's a machine by Acme that doesn't work for Wile E. Coyote. And imagine he calls the Acme customer service, complains about the product, and Acme says, "We're so sorry. Let us send you your money back." Good. Thank you. Yes. That's something that
that would be your favorite episode of that would be your favorite episode. You like, I knew that. I relate to this new Wile E. Coyote in 2024.
You're completely missing my point.
I know. I think I proved it.
Plus, no, you know what? My shorts were ripped. All right, because a moron put a lotto vending machine in stupid moron at the Fast Trip in Bakersfield. I still think you're a moron. That's what happened. That did the personal space. Give me a break. See, we're getting sidetracked here. I don't even remember where I was.
If a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoon was a full movie, yes, you'd need some like ups and downs. But in a 6-minute short, yes, let's go for the roller coaster of it being crazy the whole time. But like to keep it, you know, give some substance to it, you know. You need
I'm not
a little
saying
bit.
it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't make it like a less of a quality movie. But if I'm going in here expecting a comedy,
right?
I mean, I don't want to say it ceases to become a comedy, but it's a little bit more like emotions. You know, like, okay, so here's the thing. People watch movies to escape, right?
No chasing Amy, no emotions. It's always emotions.
Wasn't the whole thing about Larry David and Seinfeld? Was supposed to be about no sentimental attachment, anything like that's, and then like look to the success it came to be. That's just my own personal preference. You know, that's why I'm here reviewing stuff, is that I like particularly like when comedies can have some realism, sure. But if it sacrifices the humor, then it's like, okay, cool. Like, you wanted to make a movie, great. But to categorize it as like a buddy comedy is, I think, not entirely accurate. Just say it's a coming of age movie, and that's totally cool. But
well, IMDb says buddy comedy, coming of age, teen comedy.
Yeah, I saw romance comedy on whatever I searched it on, but
that's a different one.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but still, okay. They can all be wrong. That's fine. They don't have to be right. They can be wrong. They can totally be wrong. So that's all. I'm just saying. Anybody. I mean, we do this. We review these so people can get an idea of what they're getting themselves into, because not everybody can just willy nilly give 90 minutes to 2 hours out to any movie that comes along the pike. They'll need to be pick and choose their time particularly. And if you
spend that time watching our YouTube videos
or listening to the podcast on Spotify, which you are, thank you so much. But
they're the smarter ones. They don't have to see us.
That's true. It's true. Okay. So we pretty much got a gist on all our initial thoughts. So I think it'd be now a good time to get into our favorite.
We haven't done that yet.
We haven't done that yet. But I mean, don't get me wrong. This is like this is fantastic bread on mediocre hamburger sandwich, so to speak. Like I love the bread. Not so wild on the meat, but the bread's fantastic.
At least you got it this time versus them closing early.
This is good.
Screw you, Kevin from Bungalow. I hope he spite watches every week.
What's he gonna say about me this week?
No, yeah. But for the I apologize. There's a scene when they're in an Uber and they're trying to watch something for educational purposes. And an earphone plug gets knocked out, and then the audio of the educational video that they're watching becomes very loud, and it is very, very
is that Cardi B?
Audibly graphic?
Audibly graphic, yes. And the line was that Cardi B was the timing of it and the reaction of the individual who delivered the line, of the look on their face when they're hearing that, like he knows exactly what that is, and then he's just trying to, like how an adult's like, I don't know, that's not, and just refuse to acknowledge it.
Right.
So freaking hilarious. Absolutely.
Meanwhile, that phone is just like, acknowledge me.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Greg's favorite moment.
Man, this one was a hard one to choose because one of them wasn't really like, I think it just caught me so off guard, and it wasn't intended to really be a funny moment.
Those are the best.
But it was a song, and it was the song in the trailer that we listened to. I'd like to read some of the lyrics from this song because it caught, like, maybe I'm just not hip with new songs. I'm a prog rock guy, and so I don't know DJ Shadow that well, but the first two verses, and I'll try to censor this for you, Todd. It says, picture this. I'm a bag of D's. Put me to your lips. I am sick. I will punch a baby bear in his S. Give me lip. I'ma send you to the yard. Get a stick. Make a switch. I can end a conversation real quick. I am crack. I ain't lying. Kick a lion in his crack. These are some wonderful lyrics that caught me so off guard. I had to search this song because I was laughing so hard at the surprise of the lyrics. So especially the I will punch a baby bear really got me good. So kudos to you, DJ Shadow, and sorry for showing my age a little bit.
Well, since Ozzy took my main one, I did have a backup, thankfully, but it's kind of avoid the spoilers. The Pizza Man, the whole
the whole arc, the whole Pizza Man arc.
Yeah, because it's that it's that stinger at the end, we'll say, that really gets you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pizza Man. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I like it. Now, before giving the ratings, just a quick shout out. I did forget to mention the individual that is also in this film who does a fantastic job. The one plays Jared, Skylar Gisondo, who's also been in Righteous Gemstones. Also in an episode of Curb was the son of the doctor. Absolutely hilarious. Anything he has been in so far, he just completely knocks it out of the park. And
I would have went to his party.
Yeah, right.
International law.
Absolutely. So this is going to be one of those times where I'm going to have like a split rating, where if I was wanting to go in for a comedy and how I felt going out, simply wanting a comedy, I would rate it a 3. However, as a coming of age movie, I was going to say I'm split between a 4, 4.5. So I'll just give it a 4.2. 0.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, one thing I did need to say that kind of really annoyed me was the whole, they're in the car and then there's an Altoid case and she decides to open it and then there's all this powder right inside. Right. And it's like, why are you even opening stuff that's not yours? This whole thing could have been avoided. You just leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a stark contrast
Women.
because she was all about, like being proper and polite to a certain degree, I guess, or smart, book smart, but not street smart, obviously. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, so I'll say a 4.20 from me.
Excellent. Oh, by the way, did anyone else have like a Curb moment when the guy in the beginning was talking about Barcelona?
Right.
Like that was, yeah. Anyway, there were a lot of fun moments in this film. I thought it was funny. Had some heart, had some like struggles to it. Although I did have another age moment where when they said class of 19 and I was waiting for them to finish what the year was. And I was like, oh no. So I'm going to give this a 4.5. I really enjoyed this film and thought it was a lot of fun.
I'm with Greg. I'm a 4.5 on this one too. Yeah, I have plenty of fun with this one. This is one of the better coming of age films. Like, I can't believe it's already 5 years old. I feel like I just saw this not long ago in the theaters. So, but a minute.
And unfortunately, at this time, not available to stream wherever streaming locations are. However, is available for purchase or rental wherever you consume your favorite digital content. If you're in the mood for that type of high school coming of age movie, it really fits the bill perfectly and can be put in or can be spoken in the same breath as all these classic high school coming of age comedies that we've known to and grown to love. So that concludes our review of Booksmart. Before I hand things off, for any final notes for Greg and Todd, just a bit of some updates for some trivia locations. There's been some changes happening in terms of locations and nights. So every week now, beginning, I'll be every Tuesday at the Rush Bar and Grill at 6:30 in Lake Forest. And every Wednesday, I'll be at the brewery in Placentia beginning at 7 o'clock. Always free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. Come on out and have some fun. Now, do you guys have anything else before we head out for the evening?
No.
All right, then. Well, for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.